Alright, welcome back to some more Digimon Stories Cyber Sleuth. I think there was... oh. One second. What kind of life would I have with a scary hacker? I'm glad I'm your Digimon. I'm the one who should be grateful. As I was saying, I think we had one more urgent case up here. Oh. From the government. So this is a case from the government. Oh, I just said that. The door in the Nakano Underpass has been unlocked. What waits on the other side? I'll explain all the details. The client this time is the local government that takes care of the utilities for Nakano. Basically, it's a bureaucratic agency. Why are you so shocked? Of course, we specialize in the supernatural and complex cyber crimes, so we usually have a very specific clientele. Well, we cooperated very well with Detective Madayoshi's police force, so they consider us to be a pretty good detective agency. So we've received a case from a public agency, quite a rare event. This case was originally discussed by Detective Madayoshi with the government agency. It's a bit special, so Detective Madayoshi passed us down to the government agency like a sort of ace up his sleeve, and now it's our case. Got it? Good. The case is to unlock a gate in Nakano Underpass. It seems the gate is locked due to some electronic glitch and can't be opened. Huh? What? You don't know about Nakano Underpass? It's a facility that houses the equipment used to provide Nakano's public utilities such as power cables, water pipes, and so on. They are moving forward with a plan to improve the look of the city center above ground by housing the public utilities underground. Looks like the visible power cables and telephone poles are set to disappear in the not-too-distant future. Underneath Nakano, there is a vast complex of tunnels, so there are, of course, many entrances. One of these entrances is the place where the gate we need to unlock is. It is a password-protected electronic lock, but it seems some time ago it locked for no reason, and no one has been able to open it since. They contacted the manufacturer, but they gave up. If needs be, they will destroy the gate, but obviously that would incur some serious costs. While the costs were discussed, a weird groaning sound was heard coming from the other side of the gate. It seems something strange is going on. The manufacturer had a bad feeling about it and didn't want to open the gate, but the government suspected criminal activity and called Madayoshi. Oh, this is Sunny speaking. I see, so then the buck passed to the Kermit Detective Agency. Well, after all, we have the best people for the job if you want to access a place that is off bounds to most. This is actually a good opportunity. I've been wanting to investigate the rumors surrounding Nakano's underground system for a while. The gate in question has an electronic lock, so naturally there's a cyberspace inside it. You're the only one who can break into the gate without destroying it. We've already received permission from the government to access the underpass. Alright then, shall we go and find out what the real situation with this underground gate is? Where is that groaning voice coming from? What kind of strange world lies beyond the gate? This is going to be so much fun. Huh? It's just an underground gateway, so there will just be an underground tunnel behind it, right? Have you ever heard of the stochastic process in quantum mechanics? I guess I should tell you about... oh my god, these names. Schrodinger's cat? Until we open up the gate, we cannot know if we will find an underground tunnel or the void of space. Until you open that gate, the world is in a flux of overlapping possibilities, so just try to enjoy it. Let's go. The case is a simple matter of unlocking the gate, but what's behind the gate? Your job is to find that out. Okay, Shakumon was correct. Yeah, I'm right as rain now. I'm glad there aren't any injuries. Okay. So I believe this unlocks the underpass as a new area you can go to. Yep. Did you arrive at the underpass? The gate we need to unlock is inside. The control panel should be beside you. Do you see it? Connect jump into it and unlock the gate. What happened? What? Connect jump isn't working? That's strange. It's an electronic lock, so there should be some kind of network inside it. Perhaps it's just you didn't activate the connect jump properly. Right, I think it's time I verified your ability to perform a connect jump. Raise your hand. Now concentrate. Now what? That's it. What were you doing just now? Whatever you're doing, it seems like it's not working. Oh no, it looks like I can't verify it. Well, it seems that you can only connect jump if you feel disappointed. If I were to hoist a theory as to how your connect jump works, or posit, I'm sorry, your ability locates a digital wave, piggybacks on it to the target's location's digital space, and then enters it. It can be a network, a PC server. It doesn't matter what the target location is. If it has a digital space, then you should be able to access it. However, there seem to be certain limitations when interfering with the digital wave. In other words, when you can, and when you can't, you can't. What we've determined is that you connected before by chance, even if there are specific reasons why you were able to each time. Put simply, cause and effect are connected to the digital waves. Wait a second, how could you connect jump this time then? I don't have any proof to support my answer, but perhaps there were others like you who tried and failed to open the lock and were disappointed. Yes, disappointment is definitely key. I've rambled on long enough. Please get this lock open as quickly as you can. Alright, let me turn on... Where's high security? There it is. Alright, copy and paste. Copies the target... I don't know what just happened there. Sorry about that. Alright, copy and paste. Copies the target's color data and temporarily saves it by pasting on a colorless base. When correctly placed, the security will be dropped and you'll be able to continue. Movement to a different area will clear any copied data. Yep, so just come here. Copy this yellow. Alright, the door should be unlocked now. Let's head back and check. On an unrelated note, I really like the music for down here. Although I think I've said that several times. I kind of like this entire game's soundtrack in general, but yeah, especially down here. I really like the song they used for down here. It seems you've managed to unlock the gate, so thanks for that. It must have been easy for you given your skill. What? There's a bit of a labyrinth in the underground tunnel? I'm pretty sure they meant to say, what do you mean, not what do you mean? What do you mean by a bit? Is there any sign of a Digimon or an Eater in there? I see. It is strange to see just a small section of labyrinth. Hehe, I know I said we wouldn't know what we would find, but I wasn't expecting that. I believe we have witnessed a special digital wave occurrence. It's as if it's some kind of current. I see. This is definitely a ley line. Have you ever heard of ley lines before? There are many in Tokyo. They are also called dragon chains. Dragon signifies the undulating landscape, the hills and mountains. The dragon chain is what we call the flow of the land spirit. It's well known that Sosei Tenkai, advisor to Ieyasu Tokugawa, turned Edo into a great feng shui city. It is said that he built a waterway and path to lead the chi from Mount Fuji in Tokyo Bay to Edo Castle. Of particular note in this instance are Kaneji and Asakusa Shrine to the Eni and Zojoji, and Hiei Shrine to the SW, all big religious institutions. In Feng Shui, or Shui or whatever, those directions are thought to draw negative energy their way. The shrines hold big festivals to purge and expel that energy. And if you look at the lines that connect Buddhist temples Kaneji and Zojoji and Shinto shrines Asakusa and Hiei, you'll find they cross right inside old Edo Castle, home to today's Tokyo Imperial Palace. Excuse me. It's really quite fascinating to see. Nowadays, the waterways have been swapped out for rail lines, and radio towers dot the Eni and SW. You could say we've finished what Tenkai started. Viewed from the eyes of current society, those rail lines and radio towers are artificial ley lines that supplement the old roads and waterways. Naturally, where you're standing underground constitutes another ley line running through Tokyo too. Not just any ley line either. The one that's believed to emanate from Mount Fuji is supposed to run right through here. The man-made tunnel layered on top of it allows the digital waves to keep flowing in perpetuity. Yeah, I was right the first time. It's really a peculiar thing going on down there. That's what's producing this quasi-labyrinth you're seeing before you. Okay, most of that went completely over my head if I'm being honest. Knowing that, those weird voices that people are supposedly hearing probably belong to Digimon that are appearing as a result. I could go on for a while yet about this subject, but you at least somewhat get what I'm saying, right? Yeah, sure. Aha, I'll take that to mean you understood it well enough then. At this point, your work is essentially done, but we can't exactly just ignore this newfound discovery of yours either. Why don't you go a little further in and check things out for me? I think the left, because sometimes these forks in there, yeah. I think the right would have led you to a dead end if I'm not mistaken. The tunnel just keeps on going, you say? If it stays on course like that, you're going to end up in Roppongi, which would mean, You know, this reminds me of something else I've heard about before. As I mentioned before, Tokyo's ley lines stem from Mount Fuji, which is, of course, not all that a coincidence given that it's a sacred place. And that energy takes old highways like the Koshu Kaido and the Tokaido to get to Tokyo from Mount Fuji. That energy joins up with underground waterways going along the highways that carry Mount Fuji's snowmelt to Tokyo, flowing into the city together. One theory holds that the first place where that water appears above ground after reaching Tokyo happens to be where else but Nakano. Put simply, all the ley lines that flow throughout Tokyo could well be coming out from our own stomping grounds, believe it or not. Wouldn't that be amazing to think about if it turned out to be true? Stop right there, don't go any farther. You're standing at the border of the municipality, I guess. Go any farther and you'll be in central government territory. That's a hive we best not poke. Color me intrigued though, that's a hell of a thing to stumble into just walking around inside that tunnel. We aren't prepared just yet to pick that sort of fight, there's still too much we don't know. This little tangent of ours has gone on long enough, I think. Head back the way you came and regroup at the office. Though it's not as strong as we're used to, that tunnel is causing a digital shift. We should probably keep it locked up like before after all. I have no idea how I'm going to explain all this to our client. No matter how you spin it, it'll probably all be a lot to take in. I wouldn't be surprised if we come away looking even sketchier than we already do. And let's just let Detective Matayoshi deal with it. Some jobs are just best left to others. You're curious what exactly was actually beyond where you stopped? That makes two of us, believe me. Actually, while you were on your way back, I decided to look into it a little bit. Apparently, what you found was a Kamishito research lab of all things. Oh, don't be dense. I just told you. That area is under the jurisdiction of the central government. That's not the sort of place you wander into for fun. If nothing else, it indicates that Kamishito and the government have a tighter relationship than what we previously suspected. Going after Kamishito could well mean that we'd also be ruffling the government's feathers. That's why we can't be hasty right now. We'll do what we can to prepare and cross that bridge when we come to it. This is just a guess on my end, but I imagine it was Kamishito that changed the password on that door and rendered it impossible to get open. They probably weren't counting on us being able to actually break in and snoop around. Knowing that, it could well serve as our ace in hole later when the time does come to confront them, hopefully unawares. But again, let's not worry about hashing out the details until we have to, and just be grateful we have that up our sleeve if need be. On that note, I realize this case is technically closed, but what do you say about heading over to Roppongi for me one more time? I don't mean it on official business, rather I'm keen on doing a little independent intelligence gathering for our own internal use. Surely you're interested in knowing why Kamishito has built a research lab underneath the Tokyo Metropolitan Government building too, right? So how about you just walk on through the front door there and see what you can find. Sound good? Alright, we can now go to the Metropolitan building. Or well, they call it the office. Whatever, same difference. Oh, are you here for a tour of the lobby? Please come on inside. You must be confused. Let me explain. Construction on this new Metropolitan building isn't entirely complete as of yet. Well, it was at one point, that is until a major firm came in and it was decided the upper floors merited additional construction. As such, while that's going on, the lobby here remains free and open to the public to visit. Did you make it inside the building? Alright, I get you. So they're alright with you hanging around the lobby. Well, that makes our work a little easier then. Go on in. All you need at this point is a terminal somewhere so you can infiltrate their systems. Piece of cake at this stage, I'd say. So once you find a terminal, just slip on in and work your magic like always. Wish I was there to see it myself. Seems like quite the sight. It reminds me of the Tower of Babel in a way. Heh, I guess I'm starting to ramble again though. Don't worry about me. Feel free to get back to work now. Alright, and the terminal you need to get into is right over here. So there's a small digital shift happening here. Is something wrong out there? Oh, you found a terminal that's digital shifting a little? Huh, if this shift is weak while still prominent enough for you to notice it, it could be a sign this place will turn into a labyrinth later on. Well, for now, try connect jumping into it. We have no idea what could be inside there, so stay on your feet, alright? Check it, a type question. Which type do data types do the most damage to? Vaccines. I'm certain of it. Okay, I'm gonna go around the top to get that treasure chest in the corner. And then we'll go down the actual way we're supposed to go. And look who rears their ugly head. Alright, let me try poison again. I know poison works on these things, but I just need to get it to there. I knew it worked on them, at least at this point in the game, so. That was my healer, darn it. Okay, I don't know if magic works on this thing, so let me try. Wow. That did a whole bunch of nothing. Actually, Gakumon only needs to heal herself. Everyone else is fine. Although I really should have... Oh, never mind. We'll get another chance to attack. And yeah, the poison's working its wonders. Yeah, this fight's over. So you found an eater inside there after all. But you couldn't find any other evidence of note. Hehe, you're not seeing the forest for the trees here, Sonny. The fact that there was an eater inside the terminal at all is big evidence in and of itself. Regardless, let's call it a day here. Get back to the office now. That was probably hard work going all over the place today, but thanks to you, I think I'm starting to piece it all together now. While you were out and about, I decided to measure the digital waves coming out of that building. And I found out that the Metropolitan Government Building itself is one big digital wave force field. From what I can tell, energy is flowing straight into the Tokyo Metropolitan Government Building via the ley line inside Nakano Underpass. So that underground lab Kamishiro has beneath the building is probably controlling the energy flow. You remember what I said about ley lines when you were inside that tunnel, don't you? There are two things at play here, the natural energy flow from the Earth along the ley lines and the digital waves emanating from a sea of electrons. If you can make a massive structure like the Tokyo Metropolitan Government Building a hub for those things, then you can manipulate their flow. Why do they need to do it that way? Well, for one, digital waves might be invisible to the naked eye, but they have mass and therefore require a vessel. And the bigger the vessel is that contains those waves, the more energy you can build up. It probably also explains the new construction going on, as more space would mean that much more energy Kamishiro could stockpile. The extra energy would then go on to impact the building beyond the facility, hence the digital shift you ran into in the lobby. And with any good digital shift comes an eater, of course. Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if that place goes labyrinthine eventually. But we don't have to be concerned about that threat anymore now that you've cleaned the joint up. On the other hand, it's worrying in its own way that things resolve so cleanly this time. The fact that digital waves can be concentrated in such small quantities as to attract individual eaters and produce a micro-labyrinth is scary. If you hadn't been there, it might well not have been caught until much later. The whole thing doesn't sit well with me at all. This case has taught us that there's technology that can mostly suppress large amounts of digital waves as they're built up and placed wherever. The deliberate and calculated nature of it all indicates that somebody's got big plans in the works, suffice it to say. This of course calls for more investigating. We need to figure out how long this has all been going on and just what exactly it's for. Let's keep our eyes peeled as we move forward, Sonny. We're onto something here, I know it. Alright, and that's the end of... every time. Yeah, answer is vaccine. Alright, that's the end of that. I'll see you guys next time. We'll be... Alright, I'm about to leave and I forgot to turn in the case. There we go. Your drive is really admirable. Keep it up. One way or another, we'll definitely deal with Kamishiro when the time is right. Yeah, but as I was saying, that's going to do it for this episode. Yeah, the reason she's saying that is because I had to re-record this particular case because I had done it after the Ryota's Youth case on a different file, and then, well, something went wrong once I got here and I had to re-record it. So that's why, it's a little weird, but Ryota's Youth has been done, and it will be done the next time I see you guys. So we'll be picking up, I think we have to go to Shibuya Records next time, so that's what we'll do.